Hi, and welcome back to the VEX Classroom, where today I am honored to be joined with Jake Baskin, the Executive Director of the Computer Science Teachers Association, CSTA. Jake, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me, Jason.
And thank you again. Again, an honor for you to be joining us, but you are joining us because this is a big time for computer science education, Computer Science Education Week, which we're all so happy about and proud to be a part of. Before we kind of dive into that, I wanted the first question to be about CSTA itself. I'm a member of CSTA. I've been a member of CSTA for a number of years, but to those in our audience that might not be that familiar with CSTA, can you just talk a little bit about it?
Yeah, absolutely. So, at its core, CSTA is the world's largest computer science department. And anyone who teaches computer science or integrates it into their classroom is welcome in our community. And especially to be part of one of our 100 local CSTA chapters that allow you to connect with CS teachers in your own backyard. As a member, you're part of a community of over 19,000 computer science teachers and supporters like you, Jason, from all over the world. And we provide opportunities for you to engage in PD that you actually want to attend, from our teacher-led annual conference that features resources you can actually use in your classroom, to self-paced online courses and bite-sized monthly professional learning webinars. And as a CSTA Plus member, you also get access to some outstanding partner resources like a library of CS content videos aligned to the Praxis exam, and some great discounts to products that you use in your classroom, just to name a few.
And just one thing to add to that, if you are a computer science teacher, and that's a broad term, as Jake mentioned, because there are a lot of elementary teachers incorporating computer science into their math class or into their language arts class, whatever. If you are a computer science teacher, I would strongly recommend that you join the CSTA conference that believe it's taking place in July. Am I right with that, Jake?
Absolutely, yes. It'll be the middle of July, and will be virtual this summer, so people can attend from anywhere. It's an excellent opportunity, especially for teachers who are integrating computer science, because sometimes it can be hard to justify traveling for an event. But this is a way to connect, and there will be resources for everyone, from folks teaching a CS course all the way to someone who's integrating CS into their kindergarten classroom.
Yeah, what CSTA does a great job of is it's really a teacher-led conference. It's teachers talking to other teachers and collaborating and doing all those great things. So again, if you do have the opportunity, I would highly encourage you to look into that. Now, computer science education has, because of the work that you and your organization have done, the work of teachers all over the country and world have done, computer science education has become much more prevalent in recent years. With that being said, as we were just discussing, though, there is a lot of people teaching computer science that do not have CS degrees or did not have any type of computer science class when they were a pre-service teacher or getting their pre-service education. So with that in mind, can you help our audience understand what high quality teaching of computer science looks like?
Yeah, absolutely, and you're so right. We do an annual or semi-annual teacher census in partnership with the Kapor Center, and we actually know that half of all computer science teachers have more than 11 years of total teaching experience. The majority are still in their first few years of teaching CS. So for a new computer science teacher, know that you are not alone. There are many people who are entering this subject and entering from different areas of experience and expertise. And to your question about, what does high quality CS look like? We actually created a set of standards for computer science teachers that do just this: outline what effective computer science teaching looks like and what computer science teachers should be able to do and know in their classroom. And at a high level, effective CS teachers should have a thorough knowledge of the content and skills that computer science students are going to engage in, and that overall learning progression. And they also need to continuously refine their pedagogical content knowledge and skills to support all students in meeting learning outcomes. And so if you look at these standards, I want to be clear, they're aspirational. The idea is that they're dependent on sustained professional development, and that they're there to provide a career-long growth for teachers. It's not about setting the floor, it's about outlining what we all aspire to, because this is an incredibly challenging field and something that is a craft that everyone will be refining throughout their careers. When I think about it, I think it's important to call out some key things that are in the standards. One that's really important to highlight is the central role of equity and inclusion in what all computer science teachers do. As you look at the standards, you'll see that we believe effective computer science teachers should proactively advocate for equity and inclusion in the CS classroom and work towards an intentional equity-focused vision to improve access, engagement, and achievement for all of their students in CS. I won't read everything off to you. Folks can find the standards at csteachers.org/teacher standards. And I really encourage anyone who's engaging in bringing computer science into their classroom to take a look at both that and some of the guides to help connect that to future professional learning opportunities.
So taking that same question, but now let's take a look from a student's perspective. When we think about computer science learning for a student, what does computer science learning also look like?
Yeah, I really love this question because this is how teachers should be approaching it. We should be thinking from the perspective of an engaged student. And in fact, when we look at and develop the teacher standards, there are portions focused exactly on this. And we think of that as the role of instructional design and classroom practice. A student in an effective computer science classroom should be engaged in learning experiences that are requiring problem solving and creative expression through CS. As a student, you should feel like your classes are building connections between computer science and other disciplines and involve projects that have personal meaning to you and regular collaboration and communication with your peers. I personally was drawn to computer science because it is such a creative field. And I think it's essential that a high quality computer science class is providing students opportunities to be creative with the tools that computer science provides and do so in a way that connects to what matters to their world, whether it's creating a website about something that they have a passion for or finding a way to solve a problem in their local community. That's what great CS teaching looks like, and that's what it should feel like as you're a student in a computer science class.
Now, you've already addressed this next question in your answers to the two previous questions. You talked already about inclusion in computer science, which is obviously very important. And in your answer right now, you also talked about making it relevant for the students, a student agency in computer science. Both of those are directed towards what we kind of call, under the umbrella term, CS for All. What does computer science for all mean to you personally, and what does it mean, and you've already kind of addressed it with the standards, what does it mean in terms of the CSTA organization and how teachers approach computer science for all?
Yeah, this is such an important area to focus on. And I think the CS for All movement is so powerful because the message is so simple and clear. It means we really have to include all students. And if you take some time to think about what all students means, it can be daunting. And I'll be honest, I think for too long, I had a perspective that most students was an okay target. I mean, it was an improvement from where we were when I started teaching computer science over a decade ago. But I mean, that's just not true. We can't accept most students. It means we have to think about what computer science looks like to engage students that have been pushed out of the field or forgotten about in what we think of as a general computer science classroom. At CSTA, it means that we're proactively working to identify ways we can support teachers in creating classroom environments and learning experiences that are engaging to students who are from groups that are historically marginalized from CS, whether that's due to race, socioeconomic status, gender identity, or some other statuses as well. And I actually think an area that we're really starting to think about more, and I appreciate our members for pushing us on this, is supporting students with disabilities. In fact, we just brought on a new group, CS Access, which is a task force of outstanding CSTA members who are bringing the needs of students with disabilities to the forefront. And it really is core to what we do at CSTA and what every single CS teacher should be thinking about, because the best part of making your classroom more equitable and inclusive is that it helps every single student in your classroom. And it's really something that improves your teaching overall.
Yeah, and that's such a profound point. And I think really one of the reasons why we enjoy this partnership so much is the fact that it really takes everyone. CS for All, when you talk about things like culturally relevant pedagogy, right, or culturally relevant curriculum, that's a part of it also. But teachers also have the right tools. They have to have the right software. They have to have the right tools. They have to have the correct products to be able to actually achieve that mission of CS for All. So it takes all of us working together because, like you said, at first glance, it is daunting, but we can do it. It just takes a lot of cooperation from all these different entities working together to achieve it, for sure.
Yeah, and I'll add, I mean, I think similarly, why we love partnering with you all at Vex is I know you're thinking about this and the content you're creating for teachers and the materials and products you're developing. And it's really hard to be a teacher, to
Yeah.
be any sort of teacher, and especially a CS teacher. And there are so many ways that we as the community can create supports that make this a little easier for teachers to truly support all of their students.
Great segue into our next question here. I'm a computer science teacher. I might be a little bit hesitant to get started. I don't have a computer science degree like we talked about before. I may be nervous. What advice would you give a new computer science teacher as they're beginning their journey in teaching computer science?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, you're doing the right thing for your students. And that's what is always most important and should be the North Star for you in the classroom. And second, you're not alone.
Yeah.
I still remember clearly how isolating it felt when I started teaching my first computer science class. There was no one else in my building who was teaching this content. I had an awesome principal who said this was important and would come in for an observation and say, well, I don't really know what you're teaching, but it seems like everyone's having a good time, so keep doing it. And it was great to have some positive feedback, but I wanted more support. And there's an enormous community out there for you to connect with that is going through some of the same challenges that you are, that has the same apprehension. And it feels so much better to be able to talk with them and problem solve together to support your students. And then the next thing I'd say is computer science is creative. I mentioned this earlier, but it's something that you really should lean into and enjoy. It isn't a subject that's about teaching to the test or pushing through a set-paced curriculum. It's a chance to really reconnect with the things that you enjoy most about teaching any subject. And then last, I always want teachers to remember that the teaching is the hard part. You might not have a CS background, but you bring a wealth of knowledge and experience into your classroom and into the field, and we all can get better by sharing and knowing about that. So dive in. We're really excited to have you.
And join CSTA, right? Join that community of educators where you can actually, the CSTA has a great professional learning community that you can join and ask questions and do that collaborations. Obviously, you can go to the CSTA conference, but that's a big part of it also. I really love what you said there at the end about not ignoring your experience in teaching, right? This is something I say all the time. Good teaching is good teaching. I apply it to STEM. I apply it to computer science. If you're a great history teacher, you're probably going to be a great computer science teacher. That's such a true statement. I'm so glad to hear you say that. Okay, so one other thing I wanted to touch upon is students in computer science. There's a lot of research. You're more aware of it than I am probably, that talks about the fact that students form an identity of what a computer scientist looks like or what a coder looks like. And they often form that notion in their head when they are very young, and they feel like that might not be something that is a part of their community or a part of them or something that they can aspire to be able to do. So number one, can you talk about that a little bit and kind of dispel the notion that a coder is just a white guy with a hoodie on, number one. And then number two, also talk about what a new student to computer science, what they can expect and why that's something they should be looking forward to as opposed to being nervous or apprehensive about.
Absolutely. I think it's really been incredible to see the changing tide of how we talk about and represent computer science broadly, because computer science is absolutely not just something that you do alone without talking to anyone, building some product and it emerges fully formed. It's a field that's about collaboration and creativity, and it's something that is especially important for everyone to engage in. And I would say there's an imperative for us as a global community to increase the diversity of those who are engaged in and creating the products that we use, because it's clear that more diverse teams create better products, think about things that are more engaging for a wider audience, and can address issues much earlier in the design process. So to a student who might have unfortunately received a message that they didn't belong, or had heard from a past teacher or mentor that it wasn't a space for them, please, I hope you'll continue to engage and push through that, because computer science is absolutely a space where you belong, and where we need to see growth in who's participating and who's succeeding in the field. And as a student who's diving in and might be a little nervous about computer science, know that you can do your best work by connecting computer science to the things you care about. And I think it's essential as a student to think about, how can I use this to solve a problem that matters to me, to create something that I'll be able to use or engage with or feel proud of, and use that as what drives you towards what you learn and what you engage with, and the projects that you make. It's such an incredible feeling to build something and create something, and computer science allows you to do that really quickly and at incredible scale.
Gives you the opportunity to create with technology as opposed to just consuming technology.
Absolutely.
And then that creation, to your point, can be anything that you want it to be. It could be personally relevant to you. It could be some type of artistic expression. It could be whatever it is that you want to be able to do. So we would encourage all of you, students, teachers, or whomever, to go in and kind of really accept what computer science is. It's an opportunity for you to express your own creativity. It's an opportunity to express your originality and to really have fun, right? At the end of the day, people that really enjoy computer science have fun with it. So Jake, I really appreciate your time. You joining us here and talking about the importance of computer science, talking about what computer science is, talking about computer science pedagogy, and also shedding some more light on CSTA. So really appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jason. Really a pleasure to get to share all this with you.
Thank you. And thank you for joining us here in the VEX Classroom. We will talk to you again soon.
Bye.